Someone, and I think we have this and we can put it on screen. Someone tweeted out or posted on Facebook a critique of the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark. This young woman's name is Chelsea Mitchell. She is the sister of Kelsey Mitchell, the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark's teammate. Kelsey Mitchell's sister, Chelsea, said, "I gotta agree." And people are using this and going off saying, well, Kelsey Mitchell.
A teammate's family has targeted Caitlin Clark, and it's not just a minor spat, it's a full-blown controversy unraveling behind the scenes. How does a superstar handle this kind of betrayal from within? This story is shocking, and the consequences could ripple across the entire team. What happens when the drama isn't about the game, but what's happening behind the scenes? Sometimes the headlines don't talk about the shots made or the records broken, they focus on the off-court chaos, and this time, Caitlin Clark is at the center of a storm. The shocking part? The attack isn't from a rival team or some random online critic. It's from a family member of her own teammate.
Kelsey Mitchell, like anybody who smartly watches the Indiana Fever, anybody that's smart, and this includes Stephanie White, the head coach. I have a tiny bit of experience with family members saying things, thinking things that aren't consistent with my own thoughts. What Kelsey Mitchell may be frustrated by is that there's a dishonest conversation about the Indiana Fever team and Caitlin Clark.
So what exactly happened? A parent of one of Caitlin's teammates reportedly took to social media to make comments about her. While specific details about the posts remain sketchy, those who saw them claimed they were far from flattering. Some even described the remarks as critical of Caitlin's on-court leadership, with undertones that hinted at personal frustration. These weren't private messages that accidentally went public. They were intentionally posted for the world to see, which makes this even harder to process.
I love Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark, too often, 5 times a game, comes down and takes a shot without a thought in her mind about the other 4 players on the team. She's the shooting guard. She's an all-star player. She's very good. I think Kelsey Mitchell might be the 3rd-time all-time leading scorer in college basketball. And Caitlin Clark, as talented as she is, as much excitement as she brings, and she's a force for good, and she is a playmaker and ball handler and feeds her teammates.
For fans, this wasn't just unexpected, it felt personal, almost like a betrayal. Social media exploded. One viral tweet read, "It's one thing to have competitive tension in a locker room, but bringing your family into it, that's foul." Instagram and TikTok lit up with fans taking sides, debating whether the parent was out of line or if there's an untold story being hinted at. Sports commentators also chimed in, with some pointing out how rare it is to see these kinds of issues spill into the public domain. Think about team dynamics. For a basketball team to perform at the highest level, trust between players is everything. When outside voices, especially family members, step in and amplify any cracks in that trust, it can disrupt everything. Looking back at other sports, teams that face off-court conflicts, like the infamous Shaq-Kobe feud or the internal battles of the Chicago Bulls in the late 90s, had their challenges magnified. For Caitlin to stay focused, this type of turmoil could test her like never before.
Kelsey Mitchell is watching Caitlin Clark in real time, try to figure out how to play with players like herself who can get a bucket, with players like Aaliyah Boston who can get a bucket. She can get lost in Caitlin Clark world. She can get lost in thinking, hey, this is the same as Iowa. This is the same as my high school team. This is the same as my junior high team. This is the same as my grade school team. And so that's part of Caitlin Clark's struggle. And no one in the media talks about it because either you make ridiculous racial claims about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
But how is Caitlin handling it? So far, she hasn't made an official statement. Some say her silence speaks volumes, showing control and professionalism. Others wonder if this calm surface is hiding tension that could erupt within the team. One thing's for sure, this fallout is far from over. How bad could this get for the team? Let's talk about that next. This isn't just some one-off family drama. The fallout here could ripple through every corner of the team, and that's what has everyone watching so closely. When a story like this gets loud, everything is at stake. Locker room chemistry, team unity, and even how the media portrays the players from here on out. For a team that's already under the spotlight, this is the last thing they needed.
I got to take shots and I got to control the ball and I got to make every play because the rest of my teammates are a lot worse than me. And so Caitlin Clark takes bad shots that frustrate her teammates. That's a part of being on a basketball team. That's a part of team sports. There were things I did at Ball State that frustrated my teammates, justifiably so. Didn't mean that they weren't on board with me. Or you just go on TV or go on your podcast and you celebrate Caitlin Clark as if she can do no wrong.
Behind closed doors, the locker room atmosphere has to be tense. Think about it. How do you prepare for a game when there's this huge elephant in the room? The teammate involved may not have made the comments themselves, but the connection is unmissable. Caitlin's relationship with that teammate could take a serious hit. Trust is tough to rebuild when something like this happens, and no matter how professional they try to be, it's hard not to wonder if that tension might bleed into their performance on the court. They rely on each other to succeed. It's a team sport after all, but something as personal as this could easily disrupt that balance. Fans are definitely taking sides. Some are saying Caitlin's teammate should distance themselves from their parents' actions, while others think Caitlin should address the situation directly to clear the air.
There may have been people that threw it as well, but no one threw the ball better than Jeff George, and I'm not sure if anybody had a better high school quarterback career than Jeff George. Well, why are they always, they got no running game without you, Jason. They got no running game. Because I was, an offensive tackle, and we did. I was a really good high school football player.
One sports commentator tweeted, "Leadership gets tested in moments like these. How Caitlin handles this could define her legacy." That's a lot of pressure for anyone to deal with, let alone a young athlete already juggling the weight of being a star player. And then there's the question of what the coaching staff or management is doing. Are they stepping in to calm things down, or are they staying on the sidelines hoping it blows over? In some cases, management will draw a hard line to keep peace within the team, but if they remain silent, that silence can sometimes do more damage. What's next? Could this lead to something drastic, like a trade or disciplinary actions? At this point, no official moves have been announced, but that might change if this keeps escalating. The big question is, can the team heal from this, or are deeper cracks forming? Team dynamics can be a fragile thing. One comment, especially from someone connected to the inner circle, can shift the focus from the game to off-court noise. Caitlin Clark, no stranger to pressure, now faces a new kind of challenge. Imagine balancing intense athletic demands while dealing with personal drama magnified by fans and media. But here's the big question. How would you handle a situation like this? Would staying silent show strength, or would addressing it outright give you control? Let us know. With so much hanging in the balance, this moment could define not just Caitlin, but her entire team's future.